Call the City Commission Town Hall meeting to order. It's Tuesday, September 30th. It's the 5th Tuesday of the month. This is not a business meeting of the City Commission. It's for the purpose of public having an opportunity to bring comments and any questions to the City Commission. So does anybody have any comments or any questions for us? Good. It's going to be a short meeting then. Ashley? No? Yes?
We did receive one email.
Oh, we did?
Or one Facebook comment and Matt has that.
Or, okay.
Yeah, I do. Random piece of paper as my notes.
Commissioner Law. It was a casino flight.
Oh. Yeah. The one that flew over? Yeah.
Came from the west.
Thought I printed that up. I'll grab it.
That
Okay.
seems like an odd time to, I looked there, yeah. Was it dropping off or picking up? That's not a big deal, just,
Probably picking
just couldn't figure out why it's coming from the west. But I didn't
I think it was
like
dropping
the
off actually. I think
Was it
it
dropping?
left the 26th and got back to me.
Oh, okay.
Whenever.
All right. Sounds good.
It's just nice to have big passenger jets flying over your city.
Yeah. Are you wondering why they're flying over the
Well,
city?
sometimes, yeah. Nowadays, you just think, well, I wonder what's happening.
It was kind of odd having flyover approach like that, but oh,
Do you want me to?
well. It is what it is. Dropping off.
Is that what-
Okay.
That's why evening is, it's on time to come in and pick people up, but dropping off would be just right.
Hello.
Hello.
I think probably the easiest way to do this, we've had to interpret some questions in here. And so I'll just read the post for your benefit and for the benefit of anybody listening. Just read the post as written and then address what we interpreted to be the questions that were appropriate for the City Commission and the Town Hall meeting. The Town Hall, ... who okayed trick-or-treating in the cemetery? No, ... that's exactly what you're doing, ... you're telling kids, ... and their parents, ... to go play zombie in the cemetery, ... for Halloween. I want you to look someone in the eye, I'm gonna skip the ... who's still grieving. Look them in the eye and tell them you're going to encourage some kids to go disrespect the memory of their loved one and play on their loved one's grave. Yeah, I want a real explanation for the bodies down at the big pool. People, real people, were left in unmarked graves on city property down by the big pool, and the city knew, my government knew. I want a real explanation. Why is there still no written policy on Channel 8 when that unwritten policy of showing whatever somebody feels like showing, parts of meetings, not showing the pre-meetings, showing whatever someone feels like showing, whenever they feel like showing it, still doesn't match up with the city's own webpage? Why is the city's own webpage not reflective of the actual policy, even though that policy is unwritten? And exactly who decides what is shown and when? Explain why that developer got his own special commission meeting and why that hasn't been shown when what that was all about, sorry, was setting him up to receive tax breaks with the future possibility of 400,000 tax dollars in grant money. And when asked directly beforehand, my government refused to say so. Actually, the best question, since I've raised these issues before, I've asked most of these questions before. Why does my government refuse to address some issues? I'm not operating in a vacuum. I'm asking questions. I know other people are too. Why does my government refuse to answer questions when we are the ones asking them? How many people have to ask a question before my government finally responds? I'm not the only one thinking when it comes to the City Commission and every other governing body here. I'm not the one thinking. That's not good. That's just not good enough. It just so happens. I'm saying it out loud. Okay.
Is it
The
signed?
name on the Facebook site is James McAllister. I think we've extracted, as I mentioned, 5. I think there's several comments and feelings expressed, and that's what our Facebook site is for. There were 5 questions out there that I think we can answer, or try to answer. There's no, first of all, trick-or-treating in the cemetery. There's no trick-or-treating in the cemetery. There are tours on 2 nights. They're historical tours put on by the Finney County Historical Society. They're aimed at familiarizing people with the history of the community, founding fathers. There will be 3 or 4 character actors doing the explaining at different stations of their life and the life of the person that would be up there at the cemetery, whose remains would be buried at the cemetery, and the role they played in creating the community. I don't know how else to answer that, so certainly don't think it's disrespectful, would argue it's anything but that. The bodies of the children we are relocating, or it was either on the last agenda or the coming agenda, the approval to disinter and inter bodies from Finna Park to Valley View Cemetery. This has been done with some care. When the city was given the land, the bodies were there. It was an early 1900s burial with some explanation. And I think the city for decades has honored that. And I think the time has come where we can not only appropriately move those, but give some indication and some memory and marker and provide some historical context to the remains. And I think it's an honorable thing to do, and I think by vote of the City Commission, it's reflected that you do as well. But yeah, as for more of an explanation than that, I don't know that you can give one. I don't know how in the early 1900s the bodies of the children died or anything like that. I'm not that familiar with it. I just know that there were bodies of 3 children that were buried in the early 1900s, and we've approved, or in the process of approving, moving those to Valley View Cemetery, which I think is the better long-term location for those remains. Meetings replayed in their entirety. The only thing that's deleted from a meeting would be if the commission's going into executive session, which we wouldn't televise anyways, and there's not anticipated to be any action afterwards. We take care of all the stuff that would happen in the open public meeting. Quite frankly, just to not have on Channel 8's on pause screen. Now, if we're not chock full of programming, what harm does a pause screen have? Nothing. Just doesn't necessarily seem of any value to the watcher. But we could certainly change that if the commission was interested in doing so. We do not televise pre-meetings just because they don't occur in this room. I don't think there's really any other reason. The notion that would be done in secret or intentionally kept out, it's anything but that. It's a public meeting. We provide notice. People attend it. there is, if you do want to attend it, you have to physically attend it, and it certainly complies with the Kansas Open Meeting Act and the Kansas Open Records Act. Would it be nice to have video capabilities in that way as well, which really lend itself to the workshop style. We're talking about an issue. There's generally a lot of artifacts to look over, presentations, those types of things, that lends itself to more of that workshop atmosphere, which the big room provides us. The logistics of this room just don't. We can move pre-meetings over here to get those on TV. People could also attend a public meeting. Our obligation under the Kansas Open Meetings Act is to provide notice. The commission also, as its own policy, and I try to enforce this pretty strictly, will not take up something in a pre-meeting that is later on in that agenda, so that we avoid the situation where we have the policy discussion about an agenda item away from the meeting. I think that's what keeps the integrity of the workshop. So the workshop is really kind of a background of a project that you may see a month from now, or 2 months from now, or 3 months from now, and we need to help set sort of the context of the issue, or if it's projects, kind of see some designs and what all's being laid out, look over maps and those types of things. I think that counts as issue 3 and 4, or is that just issue 3 of our questions? Number 5.
Special meeting for developer.
Oh, refused to answer. There's a portion of the Facebook page where folks can post comments directly to our page, and that's where Mr. McAllister makes use of providing comments. They range in topic. Quite a few of them do not deal with city government, but deal with government in general or other units of government. It wouldn't be appropriate for city staff, certainly, to respond to a matter dealing with the school district or the county or the community college or the state government or the federal government or those types of things. So, by and large, we avoid that. If there's a comment or the question is really a comment with a different punctuation at the end, that's what that post is for, and it should elicit response from other citizens. I mean, our Facebook page, yes, it is an interaction with government, but it's really a forum for which citizens can have a healthy discussion about stuff, and that can be serve as background information for staff reports or for city commission consideration when you come in and make policy decisions. So we welcome Mr. McAllister's participation on our Facebook page. Without a doubt, he's the most active person on our social media circles, and I guess we can see if those are worthy of eliciting response from other citizens. Specific questions of the city to the city about matters for city operations, when appropriate, have been answered in our mind. Now, do we bat 1,000 on that? No. I mean, there's at least a daily or every other day post there that's similar in length and sometimes tough to get to and track. So I think the ones that come to us on our Facebook and Twitter posts that we feel are questions about city issues that warrant a response, get a response. And as your city manager and responsible for a staff focused on being engaged and interacting with the citizenry, I feel good about what we do in that area. It may not meet everybody's expectations, but I certainly think we're the benchmark in this community for open government and would challenge anybody otherwise. Any questions on any of those questions?
What about a little, just maybe real quick, the content on Channel 8 and who?
Oh, yeah. Channel 8 and the website are a wreck. I don't think you'd find anybody in our organization that would disagree. But for us, it's a manpower and staffing issue. We've devoted some time and attention to the website just as a management team over the last few months. where do we want to go with this? And I think there's an honest self-evaluation in this. What's up there now, we might as well not have a presence. And so we're figuring out what to do from that end. Channel 8's gotten markedly better, but again, we're blessed with having that resource and want to make beneficial use. It's the reason why we have a communications initiative, but we struggle. I mean, we struggle with video production, in the volume of that. We've tried to special contract through partnerships with the Garden City Telegram to try to create some more volume in that. And that's, we've been able to have some output there, but still, that's available to us 24 hours. And how awesome would it be to have full programming? But we'd also need an army of personnel devoted to it. And right now, the person that's responsible for legislative tracking, doing all the legwork for the Southwest chief, taking care of the newsletter, taking care of the website, responses to the social media, is also supposed to run a 24-hour television network. A lot to ask of one person, and was a lot to ask of the person before her, was a lot to ask of the person before him, but we just try to make a little bit of an improvement. And I think one of the improvements, or I think we've made some good improvements on Channel 8, means by which to edit the information to try to be more accurate, which I think is at the root of one of these complaints. Hey, you got stuff over here that doesn't match stuff over here. We know that's an issue with the website. We're trying to make Channel 8 a little more accurate. Getting some videos, trying to have some feel-good pictures and community events. In the absence of something concrete, newsworthy, program-oriented, we at least have available to us putting visuals, and whether that's B-roll film or still photos that make the community and the folks that visit our community or come back to visit their home community feel good about Garden City. And so Ashley's made a good effort in that regard, and we do appreciate that. But she'd be the first to tell you, if I didn't beat her to it, that we recognize both of those areas, the website and Channel 8, got their work cut out for them. The website more than likely is going to be an overhaul.
Okay.
I recently saw on Channel 8 an interview with Howard Lehman, solid waste superintendent. And so, I mean, it didn't used to have any really moving content, and so now, it does. So I would say it's better than it's been in the past. It may still not be there, and trying to fill 24/7, that's a job for probably more than one person. Your own TV channel, there's companies built around their one own TV channel, so that's a tall task. I wonder if some kind of partnership with high school or college classes that are on those lines would provide. And you've, I'm sure, thought about that and probably even tried it in the past.
Yeah, we did a partnership with the college one year.
Didn't work.
Didn't work. Didn't have a single product come out.
The sound, I think, is better than it used to be.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
And
People couldn't hear
it
it.
needs to improve. This room was not built to be a TV studio.
Yeah.
It is fantastic acoustics-wise for this room. The ability for someone to sit there with their back to the audience and have it boom off that's horrible for the microphones in front of you, and it took us forever to do that. And then there was some issue with Cox where, one side of town you'd be blown out listening to it on the TV at a low setting, and on the other side you could have it cranked as high as you could go and not get anything. And the assumption is what's going on down at the city building, that doesn't make it work, and it didn't really at that time have to do anything with the city building. It's just how Cox's infrastructure was laid out. So time and technology have healed some of those wounds, but at the end of the day, it's still not a studio, and it's going to be pretty difficult at times to hear if someone leans back, or if someone's nervous and tapping a pen next to you, you won't hear anything, and that happens a lot. And there's
Nervous habit.
we can't get rid of the nervousness, the things that make us nervous, right? So And you still have to turn papers and, yeah, all that. The gavel's still gonna hit. You know, that scares some people, so. I won't. Hopefully that answers that question.
I've got something.
Yes.
I was walking down Gillespie the other night, and the south side of Gillespie, the sidewalk is just terrible. I mean, there's offsets in the sidewalk of 4 to 6 inches. I mean, some of it's caused by trees and that kind of stuff, but this is be towards the east end of Gillespie on the south side. The other sidewalks.
Well, that staff know that is the responsibility of the homeowner, and we can cite
Yeah,
them and fine
yeah.
them for that being the case.
It's bad.
We do have a sidewalk repair program
Mhm.
that they can also take advantage of too.
Right.
You know, if they're interested, but
I
you know,
mean,
we
somebody
haven't
did-
cited somebody, you know, we've noticed people up that something is that, but we really try to work with them and get them to take advantage of the sidewalk program. You know, especially in a neighborhood like that. Maybe
Well,
get
I mean,
creative
you
with the
know-
sidewalk so you don't have to mow down a tree.
A little offset to one thing, but this is, I mean, this is beyond that.
Okay.
And the other thing is, tomorrow, we gonna carpool over there to Dodge?
Mhm.
And what time?
Yeah, you received an email from Sealand earlier today that advised us to meet here at
2:45.
2:45 so that we can
2:45.
carpool over to
Dodge City.
Dodge City.
Mhm.
And for those listening, it's a Southwest Kansas Coalition meeting over in Dodge City.
Yeah.
It is open to the public. It's located at
United
United.
Wireless Events Center.
Mhm.
United Wireless Event Center.
All right. So,
Anything else?
nope.
Commissioner Law? Commissioner Dale? Commissioner Dahl? Nothing else, Ashley?
Go Royals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the
And
Telegram have
our local
anything?
rock star, our nationally
No?
umpires,
Yes? Okay.
umpiring tonight, Todd Tischer,
Yeah.
Royals game.
7:22.
I call the meeting adjourned.